다들 시황도 유제 유다 유전 이게 나네 다 유전 세디 유디 네 유전 용어 간데스네 라율 지리대 대병어 보세 그런 유에 되긴 게는 오버텔라 유전 레그레 사실 디고시 다들 남바 예월 바치여도 하는 가사들로 주식에 자세 숨가려 하는 유전레시 되는 아주 가사세야 될 간데스라기라나다 어디가 있으네 봉봉하고 강로를 봤다네 답변 기부지라네 가사라기래 사실 다 되는 게 시는 아주 이제 거시로다.
Good afternoon. This morning we concluded objects and started object possessors. When we came to object possessors, we looked at what the entity of an object possessor is, and we saw that it's a functioning thing that possesses its object of any kind. And when one divides object possessors, we saw that there are three: persons, awarenesses, and expressive sounds. And then we came to persons, and we looked at its entity, and that is a being imputed independence upon any of its five aggregates.
강사 유전에 세상 그런 거 유열했을 강사 가지고 강사들이 파셔들 디싱당 직디 잘라디레셔 디말 세상 강사가 하고 그거로 받아 세상 강사 그런 게 지금 유 뭐지 하고 인자 강사 그런 유열에 유전에서 강사 그런 유전에 가서 강사 유열에 가서 강사의 디디레 디디 말에서는 뭐지 하고 유하고 그거로 받네 인자 강사들 유열에 여봐 인자 강사 그런 유전에서 나로
So a person is an object possessor because a person knows many objects or possesses many objects. So therefore a person is suitable to be called an object possessor. A person is a functioning thing that possesses its object.
지고 되다미도 니순고라 가셔 유제 말해라고 그래서는 다들 데라 유제 시에와 김전 가르선 죄지게 다디게 바지 죄도 그런 죄제지 여러와 죄자 이게 시에도 그 죄제지 죄제 여바인자 죄제도 그런 율르샤 네 죄지게 다디게 디 죄지 죄 여바인자 그 유제 레스 파샤 봐 이네 다들 유제세도 그런 게 유디하고 비키지 말해 죄지게 다들라 유디 하고 그거 아주 ben에 가사 있네 디디레 디마레 하고 그러와 로기 디디레 디마레 하고 그러와 죄지게 다디기 디다 디레사 디하고 그거 말해 제가 디네 인산 죄지에 유제 말해라 가야지 용어래 다디들 유제에 라야디 김전 가르스네 그런 게유 그런 죄자지 유 죄자지 지기여 봐서 죄자지 여봐서 니 채놓고 유제 레스 나와르다 디나디 이제 샤바래 디나 당아서 유제 유하고 니수 전에 차에 샤요도 제가 있는 주식에도 유제 말해람나 이거래.
So we've looked at persons. We are about to start awarenesses, but the third division, that of expressive sounds, that's a little controversial in that not everyone agrees that expressive sounds is an object possessor. So some say that it is, and hence it's in our text. They say that expressive sounds do possess, is a functioning thing that possesses its object. But not everyone agrees because an expressive sound doesn't know its object. Whereas an awareness certainly knows its object, a person knows its object, but an expressive sound doesn't. So therefore some say an expressive sound is not an object possessor. Die Jujiki Dra de Yuchen Re, de Gyutsing Engani Sapamacho.
Dina de Juchen Relar, the Lavi Gumsegasan, Jujiki Tadiki, Pashegi, Jushi Jurwa. Then the Kala Shimbu do Kishi, Korashe, the Garrison Korong, Tradiki, Kala Shimbu, Juja, the Garrison Kala de Rua. Chazan di Shegi, she Jushi Juba, Kolia, and a Jushi Tatela, Yuchen Simi Davare. The Chidang. 당아주게 하고 뭐니 수때 전에 거 유지 말해. 그래서 디네자 다들 유지에서 샤바디 김전에 가려나 그런 거 봐줘야기 주비 시지 유지 그런 기시리 배는 아주 미디 야고도 야문에서도 자디기 줘야 돼. 그래서 미디 줘야 줘요. 그런 기시에 시지요. 여봐서 그 뒤전에 그 유지 레스 나와. 유지 샤샤 말해. 当然就我那现在预计说的预的，你说好过话你给写要的就这个的预计马来了我了，就咱带来的呢预计在下巴的，以内的我就预计马来了那这个了。
So those who say that expressive sound is an object possessor, they assert this because the expressive sound, that sound has meaning or expresses meaning. And this is then what is possessed or held. So therefore, some do assert, or many do assert, that expressive sound is an object possessor. But those who hold that expressive sound is not an object possessor will say that the expressive sound doesn't know its object in the way that a person and awareness clearly does. So therefore, it's fine to say that expressive sound is not an object possessor, but here our text says that it is.
当然，就刚才这些什么呢？他的落过些的，他遇见落过些的，他只有落些的，让我些的落跟着些落来过的，是落我了，就我送下去。但那地方了，也话，开把跟着有的是呢，也话过些的些。
So now we come to the second division of object possessors and that of awarenesses. So this will start by looking at the entity of an awareness and then divisions.
当然我就当我落些的跟着来过是呢，日巴些的落成你的是，就在日巴来的落我的成你，现在落些呢跟着来的日巴的来过的也就是吧的。
So what is the entity or the essence of awareness? Well, it's explained by its definition, which is a knower. And an awareness is a knower.
就在日巴来的可能个语言呢，所以好过一个前呢，的那好过很的那个落可能个落下的可能我了，可能是可语可能个讲语句。好过很个这个了，好过的了，好过一个的那个，这个了，这个把是啊，这个那个了的。
So the definition of an awareness is a knower. So then, what does it know? Being an object possessor, it knows its object. So an awareness is a knower, which means an awareness knows its object. And yeah, this one.
那今天的我的了，实行日巴式的，这写巴式的，我说咱们落，咱们这么写吧，在北京那个落写的，咱们这写巴式，咱们这日巴写的，咱们这落写，等到了落日巴写巴什么，等到几巴的，明卡卡他们落写那里，日巴了那写巴了那，等到几巴的话，但是他写巴那个的写巴是呢，感觉才就是呢，实行日巴式的，可以我。实行日巴记了，那写巴来过来写的，他过写比我都下的，等你写个了。
So we've looked at the definition of awareness, and the definition of consciousness is that which is clear and knowing. And then beneath that, we see there are three synonyms. Awareness, knower, and consciousness are synonyms. And this is where we can see the title from our text coming, because in Tibetan we call this Lorig. Lo is awareness, rig, knower, hence the name of the text.
那你落日巴写巴什么，那等到几巴的事情这些，那你拿了野外的爬下来的，落地拿了呀，车马写上，车马满印不落写的，你写过了，车马写的，前面有落写的，那感觉可落地了呀。
We continue now. If we divide awarenesses, so then we can divide them into valid cognizers and non-valid cognizers. Well, we have it here literally, non-valid consciousnesses, but usually it would be said valid cognizers, non-valid cognizers. And then in the Tibetan we're going to page 168.
Yeah.
This one?
当作那个语节，当波通用的，当波多倍个数，当波通倍多倍落地了，才嘛是个的语的，当波多很的了，那才嘛是，但呢。 니 젠다디게레 참말라고 말다 유용한주 유통용도 당보하고 간데레 참마시고다 세미 오로 샤도 딜레야 서도 밀루에 직바 아니 데 세미기 오어서 참마세다 간지 고글스는 기슈 숨나 서도 제다 밀루에 직바세 데네질라네 참말라 그래서
So when an object is first seen, then that consciousness is a valid cogniser. And here we now have the definition of a valid cogniser, a new incontrovertible knower.
sardo milu rikpa la de sardo lamna dangbo ha go wa de se ko dangbo to ba de la dangbo to ba ha se ko sardo se ko de milu lamna to ba de le milu la ko re yu de ha go to ba de le milu sardo se de dangbo rikpa se ne de ko ngan chu ke ta benbo ta demedi je kaya ma nge de ni ki rikpa la ko rikpa sa ta chema se de kan ne che yu di 당보 또 비게 리버치레 참아라고 그래라이다.
Digo, son tiene que ripa ki kola karesu gimbe.
Ripa se de bembodan sudan temeti main kengi ane sheba di ripa siguro wadana.
Sug bembo dang di sumpa di
bembodan temeti main kengi de da sheba so da denichele ripa siguro.
So invalid cognizers, we've seen the definition here is a new incontrovertible knower. So these the words here have particular meaning. So new refers to the first moment. So when something is new, when the object is newly realized, or the first moment of the realization, that is what is indicated by this term new. And then incontrovertible, this indicates realization. So a new realization. And then the third term, knower, this, so we've seen before that a knower is an awareness, so it's clearly an awareness, a mind. So this excludes a valid cognizer being something that is not an awareness, such as form, such as matter, such as non-associated composites.
Geshe Thubten Rabten 참아서 책을 거기서는 유디 당보 통하래 당보 통 되네 또 당보 또 말이야 아니 되네 그 참아서 될래야 참아서 다 되네 기지 또 찾네 그 기지 이번에 말 지금 무디녀로 대수 참아 말해서 유디 또고 어디네야 참아 말해 그래서 당보 또 말이고 또 사와래 또는 균등부를 줘버려 인자 그 참아 말해서 진짜 사바 말이라 잘라 한바서는 사바 말에 님벌에서 아주 책을 다다나
Nimpere in dadun togiare.
Did to Dogorwa, Modern by Nata
So an illustration then, if one sees a flower, so the object is the flower, the very first moment that one sees that object, that flower, is a valid cognizer. But only the very first moment, because from the second moment, it is no longer new. The object, the flower, is still being realized, but not newly, because now it is from the second moment. So therefore, it doesn't fulfill the definition. So the very first moment of seeing, for example, a flower is a valid cognizer. From the very second moment, the flower is still being realized, but it's no longer new. And so the second moment, then from the second moment, is no longer called a valid cognizer.
Tesla and Mingala was a Geshe Mingtagora, Geshe, Secor, Tambo Toneta, Tambo Tos, the Kiji, Tos and Kiji Niben Part to Handela, go you do what I call Mingala or Geshe, or Semala Goma, Cassane Sardo, Toa Maimba, and then Coniel, Shantos, they call Kiji Niba Chasson, and call Mingala Geshe, Lagoma, Semala Goma.
That second moment then is called a subsequent cognizer. So he has new terminology, subsequent cognizer, it's another kind of mind, and it refers to a second moment, subsequent. So the object's being cognized, but it's the subsequent moment, not the first moment. The first moment of seeing a flower is a valid cognizer. From the very second moment, it's a subsequent cognizer.
Dadi nigi tsema de la yudi ane dangbo yudi toba che toba ma se diya dangbo toba de che denigi riba che la ane diya ane toba ina ya riba imu riba ma ina ane tsema che ma resa da de la tsema de la kishu sum cha gora dang yudi toba che toba na ne dangbo toba che diya ane riba imba che di sum tsama ane tsema resa gora benengazo gansa digi로 와다 gansa digi yu 도고래 당보 도고 또 아용으로 인내 거 리바 말에 인자 체마 말에 시고로다 되니 인자 체마들라 기주 숨 유디 또 받지 디나데 당보 또 받지 되니 리바 임바 되니 기주 숨 상되는데 체마라 그래서 디 숨나네 직상매나 그 체마 책 말에 나래
그것은 되는 강삭 디 리바 말에 이네 사두 밀로 레베
지나 유로 유도고 밀로아 책거래
사두
근데 사도 또 봐, 당보 또 봐, 됐어요. 가사들 유도할 당보 또 하더니 야긴 이바도는 숨바도 하더니 연구로 와.
So these three attributes of the definition, new, incontrovertible, and knower. So when an object such as a flower is realized, the very first moment is new. It's realized, so it's incontrovertible, and it's being realized by a valid cognizer, therefore it's a knower, and it fulfills the definition. It was realized by an awareness, therefore it fulfills the definition and is a valid cognizer. A different type of object possessor, a person realizes its object, and the first moment that the object is realized, it's new, but it's not a person is not a knower. A person is a person, not an awareness. So therefore, a person is not a valid cognizer. A valid cognizer is only a division of awareness. And this is because a person, whilst realizing its object, so incontrovertible, and the first moment would be new, a person is not a knower.
Dadi tsingi shata di dadi suri bine jan lamna dodi bada semzam bada umar raju badiki 시골 다리 시골에 디 챙이 세메게 챙이 세야디 디 켈레나도 혼숨기 켈레나로 차고라.
This definition here, a new incontrovertible knower, this definition of a valid cognizer, this is a definition of a valid cognizer that is asserted by the Buddhist philosophical schools that are the Sautrantikas, the Chittamatrans, and the Svatrantikas. So these three accept this definition. The Sautrantika, the Chittamatrans, and the Svatrantika Madhyamikas, those three accept this definition.
제가 우마 텐주바디게 참아들래 당보 또바다 니바 또바기 시가 말고 또 차네 또바 있는 그 유도 또 비르바치네 참아레스 그 또는 유니버스 로망보 침베네 그 참아차데 참아라래 돼요. 그 참아데 인지미 당보디제 니바디게 참아 말해디 말레스 그 유도 또 사회 제라 유도 또 비기 또 그요 바치 리바 있나 그 참아레스 제가 참아데 인지미 당보 또바 니바디게 참아 말해 랍교 말해 제가 기지 당보 또 되는 니바 숨바 가제나 뒤쳐서 유도 또나 또 비기 리바치나 디 참아래라 그래. 텐유바게
밀루아 릭파
밀루 릭파세가 밀루아세나 유도 또 받라 그러 제네 릭파세야 돼 되는 유도 또 비기 릭파치나 아니 밀루 릭파스텔엔 참아라 그래서 제가 인지미지 계시 당보 참아래 니바디게 참아 말해 니바디게 참아래서 그러다.
So the Prasangikas, their definition is similar but a little shorter. They say the definition of a valid cognizer is an incontrovertible knower. So they say a valid cognizer is a knower, so it's awareness, and it's controvertible, so it realizes its object, and that's all. There's no talk about it needing to be new. They don't differentiate between the need for only the first moment is a valid cognizer, but not all subsequent moments. Because the Prasangika assert that the first moment of realizing the object is a valid cognizer. But once it's realized, the second moment, the third moment, etc., are all valid cognizers. So they make that distinction. They say there's no need for this attribute of new. Jedamawa?
Jedamawa kala orsane sema de la injimiji rikpa ingu mare sheba ingu mare sukya yore so da sukya yore la kor.
Then the Vaibhashika, they say that a valid cognizer does not have to be a knower. They say that that form can be a valid cognizer. So that is the difference then with Vaibhashika.
Tadini inzanda delia semegi sardu milubi rikpa seme tsengi sha de delia sardu lagwe gyumjan kare so da sardu lagwe gyumjan kare sene jehe di yu de to chane kiji niba ne de su jehe de jesa di tsema mares di tsema mayimba ha go ya ge dondala sardu lagwe res jesa tsema yin de yu de sardu to dangbo to ba chingu res jesa kiji niba to han jesa da to ne ku yunu mu jesa dangbo to ba re me de ko niba sumba to ba re sha jesa di tsema mares di ha go ya dondala sardu la res jesa sardu la yo de 가라하고 그러선 지시디게 또 아선에 기진이 버숨버디게다 지시제 디투 참아 말해서 하고 이야기 된다라 서도 랍고에 김전디에서 왔다. 근데 서도 시비 지시 참아 임바 주에서도 참아 임바 가고 레지네.
Then looking at our text again, we see these three attributes of the definition explained. So the first one, new, eliminates that subsequent cognizers are valid cognizers. So in other words, because there is the word new in the definition, it excludes the possibility of subsequent cognizers being considered valid cognizers.
당한주 잘라 가르 통에네 당한주 지게 당보 통도 변 지게 사지식레 레베나다 잘라 당보 신노스네 메도로다 지신 가르도 당보 통도 디 하고 한디 참아제 데네 딘마다의 유니버티 감을 가시 줘도 데네 통다 하고 해요. 데 자산 지시사 차로지. 지시 당한주 유지를 따위도 당보 통다 하고 한디 참아 미기 셰바 있나 당보 통에 미기 셰바 통다 하고 유 미기 셰바데 참아레스. 데네기 미기 셰바디기 딱기진이버 숨바 시방아바 데네마 망보 유니버 하고 네 지 망보여 디샤산 지시레 참아 마레스 디시고 다디캅소.
So again, so subsequent refers to the second moment onwards. So whatever we newly encounter, let's say we go somewhere we haven't been before, or we see a plant, that we newly see a plant, that first moment, that very first moment, that is new. Thereafter, subsequent, second and onwards, the moments that follow. And then, so those are all included within subsequent cognizers. So this type of mind, subsequent cognizers, this will be covered much more later on.
이주에서의 유리파 진제 당보 통제 체마마도 체면망 내바만이바 만이바 저 하모고 와지 통되바 임발라 마도 와줘로 봐 딜레 이주에서 또 봐줘야 되네 또 봐야 돼 이주 그 유리 당보 통화래 이내야 그 체마 말에 가서 그 유리 또요 말해서 또요 말해서 체마 말해서 진짜 유리 당보 통화래 그 리바레스 리바네래 유리 통화에 당보 통화래 안다 다 가르 참고 말해서는 밀루어리 말에 유디 또고 말해서 마도 반상고 다 이주디 참아 말해서 하고 이야기 된다라 이주디 참아 많이 하고 이야기 된다라 안에 밀루아스라고 김센디에서 그런.
And the second term, incontrovertible, so it eliminates that correct assumptions of valid cognizers. So correct assumption is another kind of consciousness. It will come up later, I think, like on the 12th page in our textbook. And so a correct assumption is a particular type of consciousness, which means it's a knower. And when it cognizes an object, that first moment, it's new, and it is a knower, but it's not a valid cognizer. Why? It doesn't realize the object. It is controvertible. It's not incontrovertible. It doesn't realize the object. So therefore, having the word incontrovertible in the definition of valid cognizers eliminates minds that don't the first moment of all minds that don't realize the object. So that's the purpose of incontrovertible.
Dene na rigba shebe de ombo sujenba de tsema yimba jugire sido da ombo sujenba sido ngazu migi ombo dinala miwang sa chinguro migi ombo miwa de tsema re digi miwa digi sukto go re la go jera ma ge jesa di jera ma digi di tsema re sukto go re jesa koron sheba ma re ko tsema re sukre la go wa jesa di pa tsema ma yimba ha go ya dondala riba tsema ina rigba ingu res kyorongi kaso migi ongbo se digi rigba mares ko sukre rigba ma sheba mare dinza ko tsema mares jisa tsema ina rigba ingu res jisa tsema imba tsema ongbo jerama gi ongbo sujenba dangwa di yuto tsema res di tsema imba di kaya ge hamoko tsema mayimba ha ko ya ge tondala ani rigba se res me vare
Koso den di Wampo Sukchenpa de suk tramo de.
That's suk tramo that.
Koso. And then the third word, knower. So the third attribute. So this eliminates that physical sense powers are valid cognizers. So, for example, we've been speaking about seeing a flower. So when one sees something, one does so in dependence on the subtle form, which is the physical sense power. And so the subtle form, that is the physical sense power, according to the Vaibhashika, this knows its object. So this is not accepted by any of the other Buddhist philosophical schools. This is a unique view of the Vaibhashikas. So to exclude the Vaibhashika understanding of a valid cognizer, the Sautrantikas include, or the Sautrantika and above, they include the word knower. Because knower is an awareness, so it excludes form, it's consciousness, so it excludes subtle form or subtle form, which is what is meant by the physical sense power. And that refers to the subtle form within our sense powers, that are our sense powers.
Denegi suk tawa de la dang jugi kon jugi suk to gu la go di karasene migi wongbo digi suk to gu ores ta jera mo sunare da to gu ores ma to ba ina ane shebo jangba gi to ji migi wongbo suk to gu mare la na kyen gare yung gu la na pene ngano ju denegi jala thong gu ro da dene shanda ji suk dene ji shanda suji shanda ji ka sha ba ina 그 잡로 수 통민도 와서 와. 대 통고로 봐. 이제는 대내 가셔는 통고 말어 봐. 제가 네 마통을 가르려면 미기 홍보 디기 거기 통고 말했어. 마통 완전 근데 거기 또 통고 말. 그래서 숙인자 미기 홍보 숙리에 제가 그 가야를 숙진지게 가 통고 그랬어. 셰바 있는 숙진게 가 통고 말했어. 그다. 제가 마음에 송타래. 셰바 있는 숙진게 가 통고 말했어. 그 미기 왕보의 숙제 대상 그 숙현다지게 바까바나 가투고 그랬어. 제가 미기 왕보디게 펀디 숙을 따디비 갑라 숙현다지 바도 바 가샤바이네 펀디 통고 말 통통고 말. 제가 미기 왕보디 펀디 도고 말했어. 제가 마도 완상 안저 통고 말에 마도 와래라고 그랬어. 제가 디니 인자 숙제 미기 왕보디 마도바 도면 셰바 디게 도고 메나 그냥 안저 강배 치료에 잘라디게 또 두고 와서 이 두민도 와서 마도바디 김장 가르선 미기 왕보디기 펀디 숙대 도고 말했어. 마도비 김장 가르선 숙제 현다지 콜이야 바르치 셰바레서 가샤바레서 그러와.
So the Vaibhashikas hold that form can realize objects. So the form we're talking about here is the subtle sense powers. So the subtle sense power that's within, that's the subtle sense power, independent on which objects are seen, these do realize the object, uniquely according to the Vaibhashika. And they say that the fault of not accepting their view is if one were to, with another form, obstruct one's view. For example, if one puts a book in front of one's vision and one can no longer see the clock that's on the other, further on the table. The reason why one can now no longer see that clock is because of the obstruction caused by the form that is the book. And they say that form, such as this book, cannot obstruct consciousness, can only obstruct form, such as the subtle sense power. So therefore, when the book is removed and the clock is seen, this is because the eye sense power is what is cognizing the clock, and when a book is placed in front of one's eye, that obstructs the eye sense power and prevents the eye sense power from cognizing or realizing the clock.
Shergo na shinche mi wongbo se de be suk dangwa chamo chores chisam delia suk di shergo ben nganzo di de mi she na shire meni ben tuden chungchung ro je na nganzo dustane mi ge tomato de tene mi she ro tawe na shergo na da le ya meni sungen di shergo ro wa sha ne nganzo ge de tong go ro wa on di na shin nganzo ge wongbo she ba di suk di yu de to ya le ya nganzu mi wongbo se chores de wongbo de la suk di shago res suk di shago de de nganzu mi gi sheba de ha go res ore jisa do de be ke kar sung go san do de ba da nganzu shanda de do de ba yan che ge jara ma do de ba da sem zam ba da de ne ji umar tenju ba de ge chasan kar sung go san mi wongbo de la suk shago res suk sha ne suk di pa sha je de mi gi sheba de ha go res ko shaware ma do mi wongbo de to go ma res kono to lo go ma res ne sha go re la go re tang ju gi to de ba da sem zam ba uma be la pha de te jera ma wa ge la pha de sha go kono to go res ko to go res la go da don da la ko ni che ba don da la sha wa chi ba re jera ma wi to go re la go da nga ju shanda de gi to go ma re ko sha go re la jesa sukje shanda ga no de ga byo de dinalo sukdi shargo mare shar masha bazang migi shebe tonggo mare togo mare la gora
Deni kosanika migi wampote
sukshawa chikpare
de kosan samadhi
niba suk migi wampo nala sukshago yo pat chikpare inada jeramawa de shawan zan migi wampo de togo haku go re la gora da jeramawa ngazu shanda de gi togo res la go mare de togo mare es de la shawa zam res.
So all tenets, all of the tenets say that we can understand the subtle sense, the subtle form, which is the sense powers, through thinking of it like, for example, a mirror that reflects objects that appear to it. Or we can understand it in a more modern context, like a microscope that enables one to see things that one otherwise wouldn't. So it performs a function similar to that. And its independence on the eye sense power, it's independence on the object appearing or being reflected through the eye sense power, that the eye sense consciousness can realize its object. Where the difference comes, so there is similarity between all the schools agree in the role of the eye sense power. Where the difference comes is that the Vaibhashikas, the lowest Buddhist philosophical school, asserts that eye sense power, that subtle form, is able to realize the object. Whereas all other Buddhist philosophical schools, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, Svachantika, Prasangika, say that the eye sense power on its own doesn't realize. realized object. Rather, it merely serves its purpose as like a mirror in which objects appear, and in dependence on that, the consciousness realizes. So the distinction is, the non-Vaibhashikas say it's the I-sense consciousness that realizes what's perceived, whereas the Vaibhashikas say, actually that's subtle form, which is the I-sense power that perceives.
Tadi Kyabaraj, Deza Migi Wangbo, then Nawi Wangbo, Nei Wangbo, Ji Wangbo, Lu Wangbo said, Wambonga Yungura, Suki Wambonga. Chisandi, Jerama, Disuki Wambonga Gagi, Kora Migi, Nawi Wangbo, Tratugore, Statugore, and the Luigi Wangbo, Rakjati Togore, and the Ji Wangbo, Rodi Togore, Lagore. Tanganzu Shandati Togu Marina Wangbo de Shagora, Tai Wangbo said, Denia, Chigi Papa Mason, Tapra, Chigiores, Nalolia. She's a Daddy de Baleo, the Dine, Topatia, Casore, Washedi Hakukore. Di Wangbo de Tralashina, Tagu Masada, and the Denigi, Migi Wangbo de Tralashovana, Delia Wangbo delia Sugnangoma, Zumana Zanzuki, Migi Shebagi, Migi Sheba Yungoma, etc. On this order.
Yiki Wampo, and this then, what Kunda can entender Chedamari Kulasum Paimpe, Yamana Danda Jibara Dode Sui, Wabonga de Letisha, Jibare, the Tomato say Cabarmato. So what has just been explained has been explained in relation to the I-sense power and its I-sense consciousness. The exact same explanation stands for the other sense powers and sense consciousnesses. So we have an eye sense power, ear sense power, smell sense power, and taste sense power, and the physical or touch sense power, the body sense power, tactile sense power, all followed by their own respective sense consciousnesses. So the process is the same. The disagreement is the same. So if we apply what has just been said about the I sense power and its I sense consciousness, and which of those two realizes or perceives the object, the presentation is the same. So sound is reflected by the ear sense power, and then that is realized by the ear sense consciousness, according to Sautrantika Chittamatra, the Sautrantikas and Prasangikas. The Vaibhashikas, they say, no, the sound is reflected by the ear sense power and realized by it. So now, in this illustration, we talk about sound, but it's exactly the same as for a visually perceived object. That will be the same for smell, taste, and touch.
Yudi topic Rikpachina, Kotsamari Mado, Tambo, the Niba Kisho Maragidineda, Tambo Tomada Tone, the Kishing Sum Shinga, Kazitrovine, Kunubu Chimene, Kotsamares, Yudi topic Rikpadi and the Samares, Milu Rikpas at the Samasha, the Cabaret. The Jeramawa de Yudi Sama de la Injimiji, Rikpa Ingohayo Mares, the Rikpadi Yu Tambo topic Rikpa together. Samares, in a digala, and a Wombo Sujemba, Benesu, Nandi, Wombo Sujemba, Tihawa, Bendigo Wombo Sujemba, Chasa, Samares, and Dicaret Samares, Jazam Consu, that Jerama gets Sami Dota, Dos Kaharache, then Dode Bada, then Semzambada, Rangubati, Samadeta, Jiba, Consumi Dota, Jibarache, that digala, Umatayubiki, Samadetandi. So
across the varying philosophical schools, Buddhist philosophical schools, there are three different understandings of what is a valid cognizer. So as we've just heard, the Vaibhashikas say a valid cognizer doesn't have to be a knower, it can be form. And in particular, the subtle form that is the sense power. That, as well as consciousness, can is suitable to be a valid cognizer. And that is their unique view. That's the Vaibhashika. Then, moving up the ladder, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, Svachantika, they assert this definition that we have here, that a valid cognizer needs to be a consciousness, a knower. It needs to realize its object, be incontrovertible, and it's only the first moment, and that when it's new, that an awareness is a valid cognizer. Prasangika then, they disagree. They say the first, if a knower realizes its object, so knower and incontrovertible, that is sufficient for it to be a valid cognizer. First moment, second moment, subsequent moments, not important. So for the Prasangika, the definition of a valid cognizer is an incontrovertible knower. They don't need the word new. Vaibhashika, they don't assert that it needs to be a knower, it can be form. So there we see that this very important mind of it being of a valid cognizer has three different understandings within Buddhist philosophy. So us as aspirants to holding the supreme of views, then we tend to lean towards the view of the Prasangika. So we probably should all sit here thinking, well, a valid cognizer is a knower that realizes its object, an incontrovertible knower.
That's Sama Silarwa. That did Sama Naloya, that Yawa Chedu, that Mido Mangurwa, that Sama Silo. Then I don't want to Sheva Tilla, Sama Ingenchi, that Sama Manga Ribani, Yawa Chechi, that Semi or Sherwada. So that Sama did Nalola, Ribani Chiore, most me Sama said, and Jesupa Sama Nichigore.
So just above valid cognizers, we saw that the object possessor, that is awareness, is divided into two, valid cognizers and non-valid cognizers. So the non-valid cognizers will come quite a bit later. But valid cognizers, we now see at the bottom of the page, this can be further subdivided into two again, direct valid cognizers and inferential valid cognizers.
The Sama dicting also Mambo the Migi told the Jalada, the Nepal to Mambo Tungo, the Chasa, Dambo Tombe, how we the racial system with Sama, the Migi shape Sama Sada. The next die, Mambo or Dita, the Hauko and Samadi, that it's a dry talk with Sama, Dinashi, Dimahao with Sama. Then on the road, the Kalashimbo, the Diro, Kumudo, the Ngamodo, then the Hauko, Sama. Denigi Sama Rikla, this Chazan, Zula Gedina, Tikigor, Danzugila, Yungorwa.
We have a lot of valid cognizers in our daily experience. Most things that we perceive through our sense powers will be valid cognizers. What we see will be a visual, or an eye, a sense valid cognizer. What we hear will be an ear valid cognizer, etc. So we have many of these.
That's Sama de la Mosumi Sama, that just puppet Sama Nishi, that dinner Nishi, that dinner, that Mosumi Sama said, Ganeshi Lagudi. Bena Tejiro can shower as other. Then Jesu Public Sama said, and the Ganeshi Lagri said, she on the down to Dambo, Mosumi Semi Hill, that Mosumi Sama said, the Nichi Lagri and Mosumi Samadi, Mosumu were down.
So we see valid cognizers are divided into two, direct valid cognizers and inferential valid cognizers. So these will both be presented with definition and division, and amongst the two, we'll look at direct valid cognizers first.
That's Semigi Dunda, the Mosumi Semigi Dunda Shigor Deliata, Toba dan Drashin, Matu Ripa, said that 원숨기
건데게나.
또바다
맞아, 원숨이면 원숨기 쳔마.
아,
원숨 말해봐.
지상 원숨 대라 원숨이 쳔마래 옛날에도 원숨이 쳔마다 지수법에 쳔마 이유랍 셰르와 당 원숨이 쳔마 셰발라 당 원숨 셰고로와 지상 원숨이 셰 되는 원숨이 쳔마 되고로와 지상
그렇죠.
디나데 원숨 셰 나데네 가르시고로서는 또바다 자신 마추비 직바 세데 당보 원숨 셰다 원숨 되라야 원숨이 쳔마 셰다 원숨 쳔마 많이 봐 이용으로와 디네 자다 당보는 원숨 셰데 가는 당 원숨이 쳔마 랍데데 원숨이 쳔마 랍여데 네 원숨 셰데 가는 셰서 디젤 쳔마 셰 가는 셰서라 당 원숨 셰데 가는 셰서네 디네 셰오다 원숨 셰디라 다 똑바단 자시 마추비 직바 셰디라 원숨 라기리 예지로 원숨 뭐 셰데
Ik denk dat een 원숨 기체니 sigpempe, 원숨 기체니.
예, 똑바다 자시 마추비 직바.
Okay, awesome. So before we come to the divisions on direct and inferential valid cognizers, we look at direct perception. So we see here at the bottom of the second page that these divisions of valid cognizers will follow later, pages 6 and 8. So first we're going to look at at direct perception, We're going to look at direct perception in some detail. So now we are on page 3, starting page 3, and we have the definition of direct perception. A knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. Tokpatan Jelsing Machu Vedikpa. And in the Tibetan, it's page 168.
Toba dan Jashi Machu Vedikpa. Sidi dan dinijila lo ngosum sigure, lo ngosum sede. Toba dan Jashi son toba mainge sigure. Toba mainge Machu ache. Deni yudi zinde hindela yudi zimba chila zingen yudi zimba che. Yudi zinyodu yudi la Machu ache. Toba ya mainba che. Deni chila ngosum la gore chere.
So this is an important definition, because through this one understands what is meant by direct perception, or a direct perceiver. So it is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. Or we see elsewhere in other translations, a knower that is free from conceptuality and unmistaken.
Na disiore, ta topa dan da jashin topa main ba se. Then you did a machu acid. I've been on the cars for us in a you did a matua chingu. There's true somebody in the topa maimba che, Riba inaya, you did a truguyana, Mosum check mare acid. You did a truguyana, Kotopa mare, Ribare, inaya, you did a truguyana, Mosum mares. Bene Manzugi. Dine named in a Tadana, Dawani Nangurua. Just not Dine Tonda and any Dawachima do your mother, those named that Ni Tongore. Dine Ni Tong and one shade, Toba Maresco, Toba Mare, Ribare, in a Yudi Ni Tondo, Trudicor. Just a Ni of a Chima do your mother, Ni Nadu, Ni Tongdua. Just a deep truares, just a deep one some mares. The nigger true in the one some check matter, Matua Chico.
Yine kung tokmere.
Tomedere wa topa mainda, topa mare, shebares, in a mosum mares, mosum main became the true was.
So this definition has again 3 key attributes: a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken, and all 3 attributes need to be achieved for the awareness to be a direct perception. So, for example, if one presses one's eye and then looks at the moon, one is not going to see one moon, but will see 2 moons. So there are not 2 moons in the sky, of course, but that is still a knower that will perceive those 2 moons. So that first part of the definition is fulfilled. It is non-conceptual, so the second part is also fulfilled, but it is mistaken. So the third part of the definition is not fulfilled, and it's mistaken because the object 2 moons doesn't exist. There are not 2 moons. So therefore, for something to be a direct perception, these three attributes of the definition and knower, that is non-conceptual and unmistaken, have to be fulfilled.
나 저기 ben에 저기 dünya 잘라 통도 똑바로 쉬어로 와다 똑바 되게 유도 똑베게 답변에 잘라로 가는데 메도로 신의 신인데 메도로 자샤간 메도도 똑베 진제 디 똑베게 체마 중고로 와 똑바 체마지 디 체마 되게 유도 똑고래 유디 메도디 똑고로 메도를 리버래 메도디라 마추와래 고 메도 똑고래 메도들 마추와래 근데 이내 공원순 말에 그래서는 똑바로 되로 와서 똑바로 와 지상 공원순 말에서 그 똑바로에서 유도고 유디라 마추와래 리버래 이내 그 공원순 말에서 근데 가르쳐래서는 그 똑바로 와서
Ja, so medo kikola samdu.
메도 진네 메도 하고 건 똑바지어로 와. 디 똑바디기 메도 도고로 와. 메도 도고 메도를 추요 말에. 메도 그 메도 진지 메도 도고 메도
똑메 말에 똑파.
똑바로 와. 똑바서 그래. 제가 그 리바레 유디라 추고 말에서. 아니 어느 무슨 레벨스나 말에서 가르쳐 버리는 똑바로 와. 제가 똑바 인자 무슨 말에. 무슨 메도 똑바 많이 고 그래서 그래.
Then, for example, if one apprehends an object such as a flower with a conceptual consciousness, one thinks of a flower. If one thinks of a flower, one apprehends a flower. And so there one realizes the object, but it's mistaken. It's not non-conceptual, but rather it's a conceptual consciousness. But it is a knower. So here again, we have an attribute of the definition fulfilled, but not all of them. Then you go on again, the talk by yena, then it is true are marebe.
True are the medo yu jinta yu del true mare, so medo del true mare.
Jinta kiru true mare.
Medo dogo, medo del true mare, jinta true mare. Jinta ko true, because dunjina diwa.
So to explain that then in a little bit more detail. So this concept, so it's clearly not a direct perception because it doesn't fulfill the second criteria because we're talking about a conceptual consciousness. So it's not non-conceptual. It's not unmistaken because there's a generic image, and so and if there's a generic image, it's mistaken. And the generic image is the peering object. But the object of the mode of apprehension is the actual flower. So that. For the object of the mode of apprehension, that is unmistaken. And the object is realized. But that criteria of non-conceptual is not realized at all. So this is looking at it in a little bit more detail. So I'll say this again, for conceptual consciousness, the appearing object is generic image, so it's mistaken. But the object of the mode of apprehension realizes the actual object, the flower. And therefore, the object of the mode of apprehension is realized in an unmistaken way. But the consciousness, conceptual consciousness, is mistaken because the appearing object is mistaken with regard to the appearing object, which is a generic image. So for those who weren't here last night, maybe a little more confusing. For those who were here last night, maybe less confusing, but still confusing.
당한저 원숨 세디 donda 가서 똑바 세디시 세디랑 똑바랍디 유가래 통배네 유디 세부 마상하지 된지단 제네 세우 유디 통고로 와 제가 똑바디 추월에 세디 유가래 나와도 bên 메도들 통화나 메도 따되베네 똑바들 메도다가 똑바코로래 메도 조우지 메도 많이 받지래 메도 조우지 나위 나와 된지 주어와 디다 메도인이 찍찍이 하나 똑바들 나디고로 제가 똑바들 똑바코론 추월에 세지 똑바세데 되는지 유디 뭐이기 잼바 세부 장마도 마통하지 될이야 그런 나와지다 찍바로 나디면 자고 똑바시고로 제가 원숨 세데 되네 많이 세부 사장 대신 아주 미기 가르 통번에 디나신 통에도 세부 사장 되는게 나와지다 맞죠 아니 된지다 맞죠 통해야 될 원숨식으로 하다 제가 Mosum said the Danish Kugures or Denjida Majawache, Yudi Kandisina, Segan Tonch Kugures.
So to try and clear away some of the confusion, let's talk about a direct perceiver and a conceptual consciousness. So the conceptual consciousness, so thought, this engages with its object by means of a generic image. So to one's mind, when one thinks of a flower, recalls beautiful flowers outside, what appears to our mind appears to be the flower. But it's not the flower, it is the generic image combined with the flower. And because we get at the actual object, in this case the flower, by means of the generic image, this conceptual consciousness is mistaken. It doesn't directly perceive the actual object, the flower, but gets at it via or by means of the generic image. So therefore, it's mistaken. And in what part of it is mistaken? The appearing object, which is the generic image. That's mistaken. With a direct perception, the flower itself, the object itself, that is what clearly appears to the mind. It appears directly without reliance on a generic image at all. So that's why a direct perception is unmistaken, because there is no reliance on a generic image in order to realize the object.
Bene sukji suru shinang azuke tabo wangbo shebeke ngazu ime kolja jik jalara mi shebeke shingdang mi da deneke jala mango thoyo ba thonjenen jele yang azu kangpa nale de deji kang thongba dige pa deneshi du sembeke samlo shili ro di samlo de topare bene azuke ji medo dumrash nala kyamkyam chimbaina delya ane jige 되서 인치고 여바이나 디 아주 대리 걸로 미기 모수 통고로 와. 나 디가서 네 똑바대 기거래. 이내다 아주 봐 나는 좋아제 지금 삼다제 지도 나 미기 디잘라도 모수 토요 말에. 모수 요 말에. 다디네 니 둘로야 샤요도 잘아 굽자 되네 또 될야 사제 되네 또 입되네 또 매도 되네 또 선배 차상지 쟁거로 와. 디 자산 똑바래. 디 쟁거데 디기 제디기 가서데 제디 대지미 통화나 신식 세부지 롤리아 철거 말고 셀라메셀라 심마도 디 요라서 마도 미기 통화나 지 가서 미기 통도 갈 세부 휴 통고로 와. 그래서 데네기 똑바들 디수 차상은 저 니메 공리아 통디베 잘라디게 나 데네기 안 자로 고와이나 가이나 안 데네기 제야 삼노다지 강배 나는데 어디네 되는 좀 디차상 똑바래. 똑바 인자 내려야 똑바들이야. 아니 대시 통하고 구비하러 지금 난 거래. 뒷나위게 나자디 된지세야지. 지단 된지 대단 대전에 대지 구비하디 어디네 요래 사바다 하고 그래. 되는 증거래 마도 된지 똑바들라 지 만나와라 하고 두고 말와. Dice
tama manangwa hauko to bimare de kale korare
denji
mena
tokpa de lo chik nangwa ro ji mena mashana den hauko to go ma tokpa de.
So on a beautiful sunny day like today, if one goes out into the park, maybe goes walking around the lake, then one who has a lovely day out, experiencing the beautiful lake, the lovely trees, all the happy people in the sunshine. And all that one is perceiving through one's eyes there is likely to be visual sense direct perceivers. So one is directly perceiving through one's eyes, through one's sight, as well as hearing many lovely sounds of the birds, etc. And these will be direct perceptions. Then one comes home in the evening and reflects on the lovely day out. And there, when we're reflecting on the lovely day out, we call to mind the lake, the warmth of the sunshine, the people around the lake, the sounds of the birds. All that we are recalling now is conceptual consciousnesses. They are not direct perceptions, because we're recalling. Direct perceptions directly perceive, which is what we did when we were at the lake. Created those memories which we later recalled. And how did we recall them? Through a consciousness which is a conceptual consciousness or thought. And we recall what we observed by means of generic images or mental images. So we'll have a generic image of the many things that we have many generic images of the many things we saw, the many things we heard, the many the many things we felt, such as the warmth of the sunshine. And these we are now recalling by means of generic images. So when we were at the lake, having all these lovely experiences, we are doing so through direct perception. So these knowers are non-conceptual and unmistaken. And we experience things with clarity. Then when we come home and we're reflecting on the day, these generic images present something that's very similar to what we observed, but lacks that same clarity. So therefore, it's not unmistaken, but mistaken, because we're engaging via this generic image, not directly. So therefore, the conceptual consciousness, we're recalling all those various experiences of the day, not directly, but through or by means of a generic image. And therefore, these conceptual consciousnesses are mistaken because it gets at the object via a generic image, and therefore is mistaken. The direct perception, however, was unmistaken. The objects were directly perceived. And moreover, that consciousness was non-conceptual, whereas when you're recalling the events of the day, that very much is a conceptual consciousness.
And in the end, Topa Main yu di ma chua chi rikpa chi la ane ngosum siya de. Ta nga zo ngosum ye tsama la biyo de da jikwa rwa de di ka la kar cha wasan sardu mili rikpa se cha ya de. Che san topa mayin ken yu di la ane ma chua chi ane dene ki yu di tangpo to yong biki rikpa di la da ngosum ye tsama siya cha rwa da.
Ja, det er tændig, jeg kan synge der. Det er så på det.
Topa mayin ken topa dan jai xin ma chui sardu mili rikpa si la na ko ngosum ye tsama cha rwa. Topa mayin ken yu di tangpo to kan ni ane ma chi rikpa di la ane ngosum ye tsama siya cha rwa.
So this then is
sardu milu ripa la rwa dade to topa dan drashin la rwa chesang topa mayin khengi sardu milu ripa labna ta ngosum ye tsema cha rwa dade la topa da drashin ma tu ripa la ma sardu labmin wa de sardu da milu ani de namba kyapsha na ngosum ye tsema cha rwa re
at tsema dan ngosum ki tsema.
Dade ngosum ki sherwa. Deji nye la nga zo tseme ki sherwa. Da ngosum ki tsema labna dele sardu milu rikpa jasha na ngosum tsema cha rwa deji. Chida dade tokpa dan drashi ma chui rikpa sa lu ngosum la rwa. Dade dele tokpa dan drashi sardu milu rikpa labsa na da ngosum ki tsema cha rwa. Tokpa mayin kengi sardu milu rikpa labna ngosum ki tsema rwa.
Yene tanta nge tematis kopogyoso. Denedi kadang esegi tseni de chokton ala sumara kasite.
De tagara de kangadlenga milu ripa se doa. Sardu milu ripa se yorwa da ranglu la. Chesa di milu ripa se di wolya di gale topa dan drashin se nemba japshana ngosumi sama charu gore.
Ale. Denedi yone kali kapon. Oh, sorry.
Dumde orede.
It wasn't very complicated, but for me it was. Okay, so again, I was just comparing these two definitions we've been looking at. I was confused. So a new incontrovertible knower is the definition of a valid cognizer. Then a direct perception is a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So we see he was presenting then the similarity between these two. Then Genda, sardu milu
sardu tseme tsingi zuwa di gang le woge tokpa dan drashin se nemba kyawa na tangpo de tokpa dan drashin sardu milu ripa la
So we've looked at, these are two definitions of a valid cognizer and direct perception. If we put them together, we get the definition of a direct valid cognizer, which comes a little later in the text.
제바 세마 차르로 제가 또바단 자신라도 또바 마인기 대신아서 당보 서주 밀리리바 체메치 세마라로 델이야 또바 마인기 서주 밀리리바 쳐로와 디모스미 세마 다 또바 인겐기 유 당보 통해 밀리리바디 단 제수바베 세마 차고 받아고
And so this then will get covered later, I think, on pages 6 and 8, as I've written here. So then we come to a new incontrovertible non-conceptual knower. So this is how we have these two definitions combined. So a direct valid cognizer, its definition is the top of the 6th page. New incontrovertible knower, we've had at the previous definition, and then we see non-conceptual included. So that is to come, and that will be the definition of the direct valid cognizer. So it's a combination of what we've been looking at these two, that of direct perception and valid cognition. Okay, so going back to the bottom of the 2nd page, so there we see that valid cognizers are divided into two. So the first direct valid cognizer is combining a new incontrovertible knower, what we just had above, with the definition over the page, a knower that is non-conceptual and unmistaken. So that's direct valid cognizer. So that was mentioned a moment ago. An inferential valid cognizer is almost the same as that. It is a cognizer, though, that is conceptual, not non-conceptual. So the direct valid cognizer is comprised of these two definitions, that of valid cognizer and direct perception. If we then just subtract the one part of non-conceptual, but change it to conceptual, it gives the meaning of the inferential valid cognizer, which comes later on the 8th page.
lo se de la ane jige xia du lo khorongi bene lo se di gar ri ngo de karasne riba la de yu khorongi to de gengi ne to be chachi le riba se xie yong wa de ni ge ne lo nang lo ya pa ye wa che wai na ne gar yo rasne chema dang chema ma yin bi ge de lo se ji ni yong gre se chema da chema ma yin bi lo ni yong gre se de lo de la chema da chema ma yin bi lo se ji ni che chema mai bulo la bi and chema se de kanish legri la no yu di dangpo to be gi ribetila and chema la gri se che de an zu ta di ka su she di and di shi ro yu di dangpo to be gi ribeti and chema la gri se che ro.
So just to recap a little bit, so if we look in the middle page 2 at awarenesses, so we saw the definition of an awareness is a knower. So what does an awareness know? It knows an object. And we can here liken this to the definition of an object. An object, that which is known by awareness, or that which is known by an awareness. And so we see here with an awareness, it is a knower. In other words, it knows its object. And then we saw awareness gets broadly divided into two, valid cognizers, non-valid cognizers. And then we looked at valid cognizers being new, incontrovertible knower. And then we looked at the meaning of each of these terms.
당보 통위기 당보 또비기 리바데라네 참아 세디 디셰다디 다데 저기 너에 받아 샘잠 받아 라주비 셰다다체 다 우마 텐주비기 계시에도 당보 기시요 당보 그거 말고 유도 비기 리버 코로라 참아라기 해서지 그 당보 인지미지 당보 인고 말 또선 당보 또나 지기래 니바 또선의 윤 가시에 정부로 깨지 가시 조사가나 지기래 가시에 유도 또 비기 리버들라 안 참아라기 해서 텐주비기 마 송하디 디로와
And this term in the definition of Pali Cogniser, this term new. This is only insisted upon, only asserted by the philosophical tenets of the Sautrantika, Chittamatrans, and Svatrantikas. They say only the very, very first moment of a valid of a knower that realizes its object is a valid cognizer. Prasankika don't accept this. They say a knower that realizes its object is a valid cognizer. So that is the significance of this term new. And incontrovertible, this means that the object is realized.
Milui said, Sardu Milu Riva said, Ripachago Marco Yudi, Milui, Yudi, Hago Gandela, and the Sardu Milu Asana, Ripa Malavaja, Tenichel, Tamalagre, Chesa, Ripa de Lenji, Sheba, Tama de Lenji, Ripa Ingo, Maripata, Ripa Maima, Suche, Niga, your ST.
And the term knower, this is included so as to make clear that only a knower, only an awareness, can be a valid cognizer. And this needs to be inserted because the Vaibhashika, the lowest of the philosophical schools, hold that both knowers as well as the physical sense powers can be valid cognizers. And then we saw that valid cognizers can be subdivided into direct and inferential. Direct valid cognizer, then this is realized, the object is realized without needing to rely on a generic image, hence it's direct. So, but moreover, it refers to the very first moment, so new. So the direct valid cognizer realizes its object, but directly, not via generic image.
Dan Jesu Babet Sema said, Yudi now the Dunjidan Jeje, Yudi Dambo Hako and Sema Rivatella, Jesu Babet Sema Chadura, got Yudi Pa Dodu Kabla, Dambo Toba Imbachilla, and Dian Dunjidan Jeje, and the Yudi Dambo Hako della Sema della Jesu Babet Sema Chadura.
Then the inferential valid cognizer. So here it also has new, so it refers to the first moment that the object is realized, but it's realized via a generic image. So that is the primary difference between these two. The inferential valid cognizer realizes its object via a generic image. Jampa de young miluare.
Miluare was Semara. Deni in Zada, Chizan Sheba de la Topa don't Tomese, Nicharu, Topa the Tomese, Chizan Topa said, You Dunjidan Jeje, Jig Nangche, now did go you when a mine by Jig Topa de la Nang, did and Jevi Gone, Yudi, Zingan Della, and the Della Topa level, Dunjidan Simba. They tell a Topa Sigura, that Yudi, Nang, the Koran Jimaji, Dunjida, then now we Dunjidan Jeva, my bache, Dunjidan did Tampa Nawash Nang. Did Simba Mayimbachi, Dunjida Majevi Kutone, and Yudi Zinguena, Della Tome Shabasi, or Topa the Tome said the Kajele Dunjin na dukin Gisheba de la Topala, Dunjin Mana Gisheba de la Tomela,
Okay. So when you're differentiating here between direct valid cognizer and inferential valid cognizer, there's similarity between new and realizing, but there's the difference comes if in terms of whether there's a generic image involved or not. Now we come to another division, and that is, so we looked at this previously, so it's not now in the book, we looked at it previously, that between conceptual consciousnesses and non-conceptual consciousnesses. So then this refers to as to whether the object is realized, is get the term right. So the difference between conceptual and non-conceptual is made as to whether the object is apprehended via a generic image or not. So if a conceptual consciousness apprehends the object or engages with the object via a generic image or through a generic image, whereas a non-conceptual consciousness does not utilize a generic image in order to apprehend the object.
Da diniga ha ko han din alo le ya ane kariore sene de ha ko yu ha ko de la drag ka so lo di ki ha ko re lo yu di ma lo ha ko re sa che ka so ma ba yu de la to ba de le na yu de la ka so ming ane na yu da ane chi xin yu de ju yu sa de ming mi do da ya chi da ha ko gan de la pa de la lo da ane ga sa de ki ha ko re sa chi chi xie ba.
So, last night when we started looking at objects, we saw the definition that an object is something that is known by an awareness. And then we came today to see that an object possessor is something that possesses its object. And we saw this again with awarenesses, that which knows its object. And then furthermore, in relation to objects, we saw that there are a number of different divisions of objects, but those divisions of objects are made in terms of how the awareness or how the object possessor engages with the object. So these divisions in objects, they have to do with how the object possessor, such as an awareness, interacts interacts with the object. So that's the basis upon which the varying divisions of objects are made.
Sina da nganzo gangsa se de de shi de da gangsa se de kan de se de nganzo du sim ju da phung bo nga bo gang ro ji pa da xian da ne de ne nganzo ge bu se ji la ne gangsa la ge de se ji de nganzo ge du xian ne da gangsa su su ra da nganzo ge che nga dring gi di kasa di lo lobsang che di da gangsa se de kong sim ju che de da nganzo gangsa se kan de che du se de phung bo nga bo gang ro ji la da be ge nga de la ge bu ji la gangsa la go re se ji dene chile kansa la gura su ngoye sin da na ta ta de kan sta gu do sin nga so su ge da nyo so ge to ne ane chi kan ske di kan sta gu do lam da o da cho ka so re mi di su bu di ku ge ta de ka bla ane mi to do se de su bu pa do sta gu do a sa be ge da cho wa de chi de cho wa de wo ge cho wa de wa ge de nga de wu do la de o da di cho wa la ta gu do a sa be en dene ge ngo ju sim ju she de sam da de chi ke
We also looked at the first division of object possessors, that of persons, which was defined as a being imputed independence upon any of its five aggregates. So we drew similarity to what we had looked at, we drew the connection between what was looked at in the previous classes on dependence arising, and we also spoke then about that a being is a being is what is imputed upon any of the five aggregates. So there I encourage you to look at how this imputation works. I gave some easy to understand examples, such as she is walking, and then we impute a person onto this physical aggregate or this form aggregate that is walking. Or in terms of feeling, I am feeling ill, and then so onto this suffering feeling, one imputes person. So this is something that one should investigate and come to see how we impute onto the aggregates.
Dene zadang anjoge rikpa se de lo se de rikpa chi la go re se da dene lo de la chama ma yin ba se da chama se de xin anjo she de la sa de milu rikpa se de chama ta di she da de la do de ba da dene de su she da re se da milu rikpa se de sardo inko mares milu rikpa se de tenju be she da re da jera ma ge cheme ko she de inji mi ji rikpa inko ko mar on bo su chen ba de an chama re se da on dene ge anjo yawa chin ha go ya de da anjo seminar le dus chene kebra chi shin ya de da anjo ka san diringi lobsen de cha go wa.
And then lastly, we came to look at awarenesses, and we saw the divisions and the synonyms, and we saw that awareness, which is synonymous with knower and consciousness, can be divided into valid cognizers and non-valid cognizers. And in valid cognizers, we looked at the definition, and we spoke about the meaning of that definition. And to repeat again, the key point in the meaning of the definition is that the term new is not asserted as a requirement for a consciousness to realize, to be a valid cognizer by the Prasangika. They uniquely state that the definition of a valid cognizer is an incontrovertible knower. And we looked at at the meaning or the purpose of new, incontrovertible, and knower in the definition. And then we also looked at briefly how valid cognizers are subdivided. So I've now briefly touched on the main points that we've looked at this weekend, because there's a lot here that's new, and by mentioning it a few times, hopefully some starts to settle. Okay. So the presentation can finish there. If you have some questions, then please do ask.
The difference between incontrovertible and then non-mistaken.
So what is the difference between incontrovertible and mistaken?
Non-mistaken.
Non-mistaken. Incontrovertible and non-mistaken, unmistaken. Milua dan machupa. De kiapa karere.
Milua lamna yude topa de legorwa. Chesan topa chema di yude togo re. Ina ko machua mare ko chua res. Ina yude korong gang to gi zinda yude chua mare. Ina ko chua res. Kares chugo res ko le dwenji nan gorwa. De chua res. Ta ngosumi chema yude togo re ko chugo mare se. Machua res.
Mangche koson karen yakosum na pendotu.
Yude to na machua ingo ko mare che. 제바 체마디 유디레 밀루아레 이내 코 마추와 말에 코 추디레 제
제백sem.
당고숨 체마디게 유디 밀루아레 유디 마추아레.
So a direct valid cognizer is both incontrovertible and unmistaken, whereas an inferential valid cognizer is solely incontrovertible. So if we look at the two types of valid cognizers, both are incontrovertible, but only one is unmistaken. Both being incontrovertible mean they both realize their object. So that's the meaning of incontrovertible, the object is realized. The meaning of mistaken is that the consciousness that is unmistaken, the direct valid cognizer, doesn't rely on a generic image. The mistaken consciousness, the inferential valid cognizer, relies on a generic image. So in brief, mistaken, unmistaken refers to whether a generic image is utilized. Okay? And thank you very much.